Hello, hello. Welcome to Streams of Collective Consciousness. I was muted, but basically, hello, I'm Ellie, and I do streams every Tuesday and Friday. Super excited. But yeah, today I am going to be talking about sustainable fashion, environmental, and social justice news. I am super excited. There's a lot going on. If you're following along recorded version, I will happily tell you that there's a Canva link in my description that you can follow along with. It'll always be there no matter what. And if you're live, hello, nice to see you in the chat. But yeah, there's always structure in my live streams. I always try to start at the top of the hour at 4 p.m. If I'm not muted, you can hear me. You can hear me, which I'm glad that you are. But yeah, I will always start at 4, and then we'll get into the news really quickly. And then I'll take a small break around 5, and then we'll get into like videos, memes, community submissions. And then we'll move into more like social issues, environmentalism, positive news later on. And then we'll again have a small break. And then later on, I'll get into more stuff, maybe like a fashion dress show or like a fashion game. I'm trying to get into a dress to impress, but I don't have the setup right now, but that's the goal in the future. And then just kind of end off on a good note. But yeah, I'm always live Tuesday and Friday, 4 to 6:30, around there. I stream for like 2 hours, 3 hours and a half, depending on my energy levels. So yeah, this is the vibes. Welcome. And then if you ever want to submit anything, the community submission form is here. So this link will also be in my description, so you can feel free to fill that out. And I will cover whatever you want me to cover if I improve it, obviously, in the next live stream, which will be on this upcoming Fridays at 4 p.m. Okay, and then to get into it now, this is me, so you can look at this while I check the audio. Let me see the audio. This can be raised up a bit. Okay. You can barely hear it. Let's do a little bit more. Okay, so that's a bit about me. I try to have some background music for you guys. You can't quite hear it now, so I'm fixing that. Okay, maybe I should lower it a bit after testing. Alright, so if you ever want to like join the community, you can join the Slack. You can volunteer if you want. I have a blog. If you ever want to have experience rating in sustainable fashion, feel free. The links will be in my description as always. And then I'm going to be releasing my first Substack newsletter soon, so you can always subscribe to that. All the links will be in the description. But yeah, personal updates. Today was a pretty chill day. Today I worked for a bit, and then I was really just sitting outside for like 3 hours and just kind of taking in the sun. It hasn't been sunny in Illinois for the longest time, so I was just sitting out there just thinking about life, watching some videos, reading. I feel like the sun for me is like a great way to heal and like get back to myself, so I was doing that a lot today. Feeling really better. I was feeling sickly for the past couple of weeks, to be honest, but yeah, glad that it's being spring now. I love axolotls, hence the little photos. I wouldn't know how to take care of an axolotl, to be honest, if I ever got one, but I love them. I'm a Pisces. My birthday's actually like in a couple of days on March 6th, so I'm gonna turn 28. Kind of scared, but I am feeling the brunt of 28. I feel old, but young at the same time. It's kind of weird. It's like I'm entering the 30s, but I'm still in my 20s, but I can feel it coming. I can feel the 30s coming. Kind of scared, not gonna lie. But yeah, I don't really have a bunch of personal updates besides my birthday's coming up. I'm excited for the sun to come out. Feeling good today. Today's gonna be a pretty long stream, not gonna lie. There's a lot of news. So feel free to like put in the chat if you have any questions, if you want me to expand, if you want me to slow down, if you want me to like go back to something or talk about something else. Just always want to know what you're thinking. I'm experiencing as well in the fashion industry, but basically I've been hearing a lot about Mexican fashion within the New York Fashion Week and just in fashion weeks in general. There's been a lot of energy from these two designers in particular, so we should get into that. Let me just check the audio as I pull up the okay, so the audio is good, but yeah, I want to get into it first by advocating these two designers. So one of the interesting things that this designer did was obviously this shirt, which says El Golfo de Mexico, which means the Gulf of Mexico if you don't speak Spanish, and it kind of comes from a moment of President Trump who wants to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of the United States. So, and this designer really spoke up for LGBTQ rights in his fashion show. So this article is by We Are MITU. I don't know how to say that, but it basically says Mexican fashion is having its 2025 moment, and it's loud, political, and unstoppable. Okay, let's get into the article. Basically, it explains that fashion has long been a vehicle for political statements, which I personally agree. I feel like fashion is political, even if people don't agree with me. And it also mentions that fashion is art, which again, I also agree with. So taking runways around the world to make these statements is what makes it so exhilarating. You'll never really know what is about to walk down the runway, and these moments are pure gold. In the current political climate in the United States, we are seeing these political statements show up on runways. The demonization of immigrants with a focus on Mexican immigrants is offering fashion designers fertile ground. The political protests emerging for fashion right now are targeted directly at this xenophobic rhetoric. Now, the thing that really stood out in this statement is you never really know what's going to walk down the runway, which is true because when you tune in, you're kind of just looking at the aesthetics, wondering what the designer is going to do, whether they follow the trends of the season's, it patterns or it colors that they have to follow as well, or if they're going to diverge. But a lot of fashion designers actually don't make a lot of political statements. And I think that's the whole reason why this article is even being published or written about in general. Like, out of all the designers, if you think about it, like Paris Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, only 2 of them made a political force to push for Mexican rights, which is very little because I was looking up the New York Fashion Weeks and there's like 87 shows, which means like 87 designers. But out of all the global fashion shows, only 2 of them made it for this topic. It says that very little designers are actually confusing a political statement to their fashion shows. But I mean, it's a good start and fashion has that power, so I like how they're taking it up. So one of them is Patricio Campillo, who is showing the political force of the art of fashion. And he did this by this shirt that says El Golfo de Mexico, which in a big picture way, it doesn't really say much because it's just literally saying what is already in existence. Like, the Gulf of Mexico is already called the Gulf of Mexico. It's making a statement because of the context, which is President Trump trying to change the name. But like, from an outside looking in, if you don't know the situation, it's just like a simple shirt. But like, the Mexican flag over here just kind of emphasizes this point subliminally, which I find really cool and powerful. But at the same time, it's just like still a basic shirt. Like, it's not doing too much. It's just showing what it already is and the context of its location, which is it's in Mexico. So hence the Mexican flag. But yeah, he showed his collection in New York Fashion Week. He used his platform at one of the premier fashion events of the season to send a message. His collection showcased traditional Mexican clothing while tipping a hat to shadow fashion, simply giving Mexican culture the platform of New York Fashion Week with elevated tones is an incredible feat. Doing it while Mexican immigrants are under attack in the US is incredible artistry. In a way, like, it's true, but I feel like it's like doing the bare minimum. Like, these are our current times. Like, we should all be doing something. It shouldn't be a whole thing if someone does something, but again, like, a lot of fashion designers are complacent, which is unfortunate. And then the article continues to say, not only did Campillo's collection give love to Mexican culture, but his collection also played with gender. The current federal government has the attention span to go after multiple communities at once. When they aren't demonizing Mexican immigrants, they turn their attention to the LGBT community focused on trans people. So the way Campillo used his collection really blurs the lines between masculine and feminine body or fashion, which bends gender in a way that speaks volumes. Whoa, what happened when I was reading that sentence? Okay, let me reread it. The way Campillo used his collection to blur the lines between masculine and feminine fashion bends gender in a way that speaks volumes. I don't know what they meant by that, but maybe it's like gender fluid collections or pieces here. Oh, okay, gender is fluid. Gender is a social construct. By balancing both feminine and masculine elements in his looks is refreshing to see. Which is nice. And then Will Echeverria, which is a Mexican designer, did a collaboration with Kendrick Lamar for the Super Bowl, and that collection was available. Which is this. I don't find this super like impactful. I don't really think these are saying anything in particular, but again, it like showcases more Mexican fashion designers are given partnerships or opportunities, which is like breaking a lot of like, I guess, stigmas or barriers that BIPOC designers have faced in the past. So that's cool. Oh, okay. And then the article continues to say, this raises a particular question. Can fashion be political? To which the proper reply must be, wasn't it always? Singer wrote for Vogue in 2020. In the Middle Ages, sumptuary laws prohibited commoners from dressing above their station. During the French Revolution, sans-culottes, I don't know what that was, wore hardy trousers as a badge of working class pride. Near our own era, the Black Panthers used clothing both to seize power and to resist it, adopting a uniform of leather jackets and berets to signify their deputization as a counter-police force, while in the greed is good 1980s, power suits and poof skirts sublimated Virginite corporate triumphalism. Okay, that was big words. Basically, fashion has always been used as a way to speak about our ideologies and where we stand in life. So, I mean, this is like nothing different. I just feel like more designers have to like actually put meaning into their collections, basically. So, I kind of wonder like what... Oh my god, these links leading to Twitter is not the vibe. I wonder what his collection actually looked like. Or did he just wear that shirt and that was it? Like, that was the advocacy he did. I don't see it. Let me put New York Fashion Week. New York Fashion Week. If his collection was just normie fashion, I don't really think he did a good job advocating. If that's just everything he did, then I'm not that impressed. But I'm just overcritical, to be honest. I don't see anything. Was this it? Okay, this was it.
This collection, I really wanted to dream, and I really wanted to remember why I was doing what I do, and that meant just kind of being free in terms of what I wanted to do. The music was kind of a timeline of the most relevant music in different moments. Silvestre Revueltas and Juventino Rosas and that movement, which was contemporary to the magic realism. And then you go to Los Panchos, who made so many covers and are like, you know, in the 50s, and they were like these, you know, the Mexican Beatles at that time. And then Chabela Vargas, who for me is so important given who she is, where she comes from, her work, what she says. origin point is always the same. I think it's always, the recontextualization of tradition, the recontextualization of a country's references and like cultural baggage. And I think that's what, kind of connects and builds the DNA. I remember reading those books for the first time, like Casa Tomada or Isabel Allende, and it was just like this window into this fantastic world where everyone thought magic was part of everyday life, and I wanted that for the collection.
Okay, so I mean, there's some interesting points in there, obviously. I think one of the things that gave me a red flag was like how he's recontextualizing things. He almost like made traditional Mexican wear an abstraction. If you notice the pieces, it was like very abstract pieces of like traditional Mexican wear, which I'm not totally against, but sometimes I'm just kind of wary of like light-skinned Mexican or like Latinos in general. I'm obviously light-skinned, so I'm always wary about my own opinion because I have a lot of internalized colonization through my skin, because I benefited the most from the privilege that white culture has provided to Americans and to like Europeans in general across the world. So I just kind of wonder like what he means by recontextualization, because that can often mean like taking something and like making it a different way, than kind of saying it's better, or maybe it's like for the benefit of everyone in the culture to have it that way. So I'm just kind of curious where he's coming from a bit more, because I don't really know his bias or his philosophy in life or his values, but it's a good start. It's a good start, not gonna lie. But I wish there was more like female Mexican Americans making statements, but I guess they just didn't make the article or make it in the fashion shows. So yes, I want some more BIPOC females making statements. I think there is. I think there is. Okay, so moving on, I actually want to talk about this news, which is that there is the first Black trans teenager featured on 17 magazine, which is huge. I am so excited and so happy to see this. I am incredibly proud of all the progress that we have seen recently in efforts in diversity, despite setbacks from the government with like cutting back, diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. So let me find the article. Okay, it's right here. So, oh my gosh, she's such a queen. Okay, her name is Zaya Wade. Can we just take a moment? Like, I was raised with this magazine. I am so hyped. This is such a power move for not only young girls, but like for current, fashion lovers, no matter what age you are. This just sets the example of what we need to be doing for magazines. Okay, so the article says this teenager already has a devoted following, and just ahead of her 18th birthday, she's ready to take flight. If only her parents would stop embarrassing her. Oh my gosh, such a queen. Okay. So it says, it's such a strange time to be growing up in America for just about anyone, but especially if you're Black, especially if you're transgender, especially if the government seems hell-bent on erasing your existence through a barrage of executive orders and legislation that feel like dystopian plot points. In 2025 alone, 43 U.S. states have introduced 551 anti-trans bills. More than 200 of them target children and young adults. It's a landscape designed to break spirits and dim lights before they can even have a chance to shine. Yet here sits Zaya Wade, who is 17 years old, on her bed in an oversized gray hoodie, her honey blonde box braids pulled back in a messy bun. It's true, she says, that all this, the 2024 election, this new presidential administration, has really knocked me back. I felt like I couldn't stand up. I felt like I couldn't stand up for a little bit. But then I realized it's time to roll up my sleeves and keep going. Queen. Okay, and then it continues to say, for Zaya, resistance and the refusal to be erased are an innate part of who she is. A high school senior, a person on the cusp of adulthood, her birthday is in May, who is still trying to figure it all out. Girl, same, we're all trying to figure it out. And then she is someone who is radiating a defiant kind of optimism despite everything. Oh my gosh. She knows this is no time to crash out. This is such a Gen Z coded magazine article and I love it. Oh, I love her outfit. Whoa, these heels. If I tripped, I'd be dead. Okay. I think the music, I'm kind of paranoid with the music, guys. So I'm gonna move it back a bit. Hi, Marissa. Okay, so going back to the article after fixing the audio 100 million times. Since then, she has walked the runway for Miu Miu and worked with the likes of Puma and Warby Parker. The glasses perched on her nose are from her own collab, becoming a social media icon in the process. And most important to her, she co-founded the nonprofit Translatable with her dad. She describes the platform, which earned her a 2024 out of 100 Groundbreaker Award, as a megaphone for transgender voices that are often unheard. That's so cool. So Translatable's website is full of personal stories and resources. And as Zaya talks about it, I can tell it's not just another celebrity cause. It's a movement, a sanctuary, a vision for a better world for trans and queer people. I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night with an idea for Translatable and have to write it down, she shares, smiling. I'm just so passionate about what it can represent and what it can become. And says it's the most worst handwriting you've ever seen. Chicken scratch because it's 1 a.m. Oh, she's so cool. I wish I was this cool at 17. I love her outfit. It's so cute. Oh, I love it. I'm like mesmerized. I was just staring at her. Okay. Okay, so it says, I wonder out loud about the pressure she and all of Gen Z really is under to fix problems of the world. How it fuels to shoulder the weight while navigating everything else that comes with late adolescence. The growing pains, the friendships, the homework, the college applications. It's ego boosting, I'm not gonna lie, she says, but it's also a giant burden. It's hard to be Gen Z. It's also really easy to be Gen Z at the same time. Yeah, it's true. I'm 27. I'm like 10 years older than her, but I can never imagine the pressure they feel, especially in midst of like the Department of Education almost getting like shut down. I think it's still in the process of being shut down, to be totally honest with you. I'm not quite sure. My brother's in school right now, and every time I hear the news, I'm like, brother, I think your student loans or your grants, whatever, they're gonna go down the trash real soon. But they sure are going to keep charging you, but Department of Education is going to be long gone before you pay them off. But hopefully we don't get there. But I do feel the pain for like teenagers right now who are just seeing this world almost go up in a ball of fire and still trying to be like optimistic and funny and like just their selves. I feel like teenagers are just so funny. I love them. I love working with teenagers. Let's see. They're talking about college applications. Oh, there's the queen herself. I love it. I love her earrings. I wonder what earrings those are. I love it. Let me see. Ooh, I love these outfits. I love this for 17 magazine. This is what we need in the world. A black transgender female boss. She's wearing a Rick Owen jacket and shirt, Dior skirt, thumb brown socks, Coach shoes, and hat. Love it. Oh, they're mismatching. Nice. Okay. Oh, it's just like a really cool feature of her. I'm gonna probably move on just for the sake of time, but I love these photos. Oh, these are cool. The music, guys. I'm so paranoid of the music. Let me lower it. This is my first time with the music audio in the background, so I'm kind of paranoid about it. Oh, this teddy one. I love this. I wonder what took them so long to do this, like to actually... Oh, it's just so cool. This is such a cool feature. Hopefully they keep doing these sort of like features on 17. If I was a 17-year-old right now looking at this, given the times that we're in, I would have been so happy for 17. Like I would have like subscribed to their magazine. I kind of want to like sign up for a magazine subscription to come to my house. I kind of like miss that feeling of having like a print magazine come to my house. I'm not sure if 17 still does that or if it's a digital magazine. I don't see anything here to sign up, but whatever. I don't think 17 is the one I would sign up for just because it's for like teenagers. But this is so cool. Oh my gosh, the photos are everything. I would have lived for this as a teenager. Oh, she looks so good, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna move on. I'm like so hyped about this. But to move forward, so I saw that Samsung actually collabed with E.L.V. Denim, which is like a sustainable fashion brand, to basically showcase a sustainable fashion like collection. So this is the official press release. So Samsung's latest home appliance provides a backdrop to the brand's official Fashion Week debut, delivering the benchmark for upcycled and sustainable fashion. And this is kind of like it. Is Samsung the washing machine or the phone? I don't know. I thought it was Samsung the phone. Now that I look at it, I'm like, wait. Do they sell laundry stuff? No, I didn't know this. So they made it actually to London Fashion Week in part with E.L.V. denims, and their collection is called The Journey. Oh my god. I'm like processing. Guys, you're gonna see this bunny a lot. I'm trying to figure out this audio. Okay. So going back to the article, the British luxury fashion brand dedicated to crafting timeless fashion pieces from 100% upcycled materials created The Journey. I think they're talking about E.L.V. denim. They made their first pair of jeans in 2018 to a full ready-to-wear collection. Okay, so Samsung had the Series 6 washing machine and tumble dryers featured. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense for like sustainable fashion, but maybe they're trying to like speak about taking care of your clothing well or something by how you wash them. Oh, okay, so supposedly they help reduce energy consumption as well as decreasing the amount of harmful plastic fibers clothing sheds. I wonder like how they prevent harmful microfibers from being released. A lot of questions. So basically this presentation is supposed to show innovation and towards responsible consumption. I don't know if I'm getting that vibe. I feel like it's just like more products. I'm being overcritical, but I'm just seeing a lot of product placement. But well, E.L.V. I'm just gonna say it's called E.L.V. I don't know how to pronounce E.L.V. E.L.V. Denim transforms garments otherwise destined for landfill into high-end fashion, our laundry innovations help extend the life of clothing by delivering a deep clean, using less energy and water. We're committed to building products and providing consumers with options that put responsible practices at the forefront of fashion. Honestly, this is just like giving... We want to expand our markets and our reach, so let's collaborate with an industry leader and say we care about responsibility and sustainability because of the features in our products, because they supposedly use less water and energy. But I feel like it's all a marketing ploy to just help make us buy more stuff, because like I think the most sustainable option that we have is the ones that are in our closet, and it doesn't matter what laundry machine or what washing machine or like what dryer you have, as long as you're being intentional about it. I feel like that's the best way of reducing like water. That's the way you're gonna reduce energy. It doesn't matter if it's from a Samsung machine necessarily or what, but I mean, it's Samsung is being very deliberate. Like they know that their machines are part of the process of washing your fashion, no matter if it's from E.L.V. or from another brand. Like they want to get themselves in the fashion world, because essentially like laundry machines and dryers are part of the fashion industry, the fashion world. It's just we kind of really don't think about it as an explicit part of the cycle of clothing, but like we literally cannot re-wear our clothing without washing them. And to wash them, we need soap, we need fabric softener, we need the machinery itself, or we can hand wash them, but most of us are not hand washing, you know? So this is very strategic, but it's like, I don't want to buy another thing to be able to, you know, consume sustainable fashion. So, I mean, it's smart, but I just feel like it's a marketing ploy. Oh my gosh, it does have this feature called AI energy mode that can help reduce your energy consumption by up to 70%, while eco bubble technology can wash effectively at cooler temperatures.
While you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
We can be twinsies.
to
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family.
Okay, so this is what it looked like. I mean, it's true, like you need this washing machine to wash your denim. Like I get it, but like I don't really feel like it matters what laundry machine you use. I really don't think so. Okay, so it's just basically going on how to wash your clothing. I wonder what you guys think about this partnership between a sustainable fashion brand and a more like eco-conscious washing machine / dryer thing. But I mean, we can do this with any machine whatsoever. Yeah, it's just selling us more stuff, to be honest. I think I'm just gonna move on. And then there was actually another article I saw about this. Let me see if it expands on the point. There were some like sustainable fashion influencers that were featured in this one. This one's on Fashion United, and it basically says how E.L.V. Denim brings its upcycling journey to London Fashion Week. And it basically became the first fully upcycled brand on schedule with an immersive presentation celebrating its sustainable, innovative, and high-end fashion. So, I mean, I think these partnerships just elevate more sustainable fashion brands than ever before. They're finally getting into like the fashion weeks, which is really cool. It's the same collection as with Samsung. And I feel like that's what opened up the doors for them to even enter such partnership, you know, like maybe they wouldn't have been able to get into London Fashion Week without the help of Samsung or this partnership. But it's good that they're like taking discarded items and doing like luxury pieces. But I feel like they've turned this very accessible textile waste that was worth nothing and then elevating it to something so inaccessibly priced that most people wouldn't be able to afford it unless you're very privileged or have a lot of money. So I don't know if it's like classist of E.L.V. Denim to take something that needs to be thrown away or shouldn't be thrown away too, either or, and like doing something and just majorly overpricing it. But I mean, they do have a consumer base. They know that most people will pay what they'll charge for, but I don't think luxury prices are justified when we have enough clothing to clothe the next 6 generations. Like, I think sustainable fashion should be affordable in some way, but you do need to pay workers. Like, you do need to pay all these different people. So like for me, I'm always like, how can we make things affordable so that sustainable fashion can reach more people? But then like knowing it's such a small industry right now that it costs a lot of money to have, you know, the skilled talent to take time to do this, to like do things fairly and ethically. But if it was a normalized part of society to do things sustainably, I don't think it would cost that much. We're just not at that point. And I just always get frustrated. Like, why can't we just have like cheap, sustainable options? Like, why does it always have to be like so much more priced? You know, like, why does it have to be more expensive? And then when we see like luxury prices attached to sustainable fashion, it just feels like so out of reach for the everyday person. But E.L.V is doing a lot of good work. Like, they're introducing So Fashion to fashion weeks, you know, making cool collections. It's just I wonder how much each piece actually is, but the founder actually said, from the very beginning, our goal has been to set a new standard for sustainable fashion. This presentation was not just about showing our collection, it was about proving how transparency, craftsmanship, and upcycling can redefine luxury. We are thrilled to have shared this milestone with such an incredible audience. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this. I wonder how much these are. Well, it says today E.L.V. Denim is the only brand in the world producing a high-end garments at scale entirely from 100% upcycled post-consumer waste. We're not just making jeans, we are rewriting the rules of fashion. These are the pieces. All right. Well, that's very interesting. I mean, they are leading the charge, but does it warrant luxury prices? Could they be doing this sort of work without being a luxury brand, though? I wonder if you have to charge luxury prices to make high-end garments. That's the thing I'm like contending with here, but they gotta make their money, you know, so we're stuck in capitalism, so sustainable fashion brands gotta play the game somehow and make their money. Okay. There's like a bag falling, and it's like slowly falling. It just kind of caught my attention right now. So basically, another thing that I saw was that Kate Moss's favorite vintage supplier presented a collection at London Fashion Week. So we should go ahead and look at that. There's a video, so let me see if I can play it.
A degree
Oh my
from
gosh,
Walden
there's an
University
ad.
empowers me.
How long is this ad? Oh no, I clicked on it. Wait, how do I?
It helps open the door, whether it be
I wonder if I can make this
at
bigger.
a hospital, which is my ultimate goal, or with a mental health
Wait,
provider
why is it
where
stuck
I
in
am
the ad?
currently.
I'm so confused about
get
websites.
in and I can learn from the ground up. They understand, and
But
they
basically
put the
it's
time
Annie
in,
Doble,
and they're
who is the
truly
founder of
passionate
Annie's
about this field
Pizza.
and helping me.
Walden University, set a course for change.
Let's get to it. come on, I don't want to go to college again. I'm not going to be into it. How do I make it full screen? Wait, let me start from the beginning. Okay, so that was interesting. I feel like there's a lot more like vintage / sustainability efforts in this particular fashion week versus any other of them. I think archival pieces are really important in midst of sustainable fashion, so I'm excited to see more people use like vintage pieces in the collections. I feel like there's such a unique feeling and look when you use archival pieces. Also, I don't really think that within fashion shows or fashion weeks you necessarily have to make everything new. I think there's an assumption that if you're going to feature a collection, it should come from a new, like, quote unquote source, or like it should be a new design. But like in a way, all pieces are inspired by the past and by our present somehow. So I mean, it's just like a reference to something else, right? And even if it's coming from our imagination, like I think there's some sort of source that we're referencing, or a moment or feeling. Don't know why we're so anti, vintage clothing or archival clothing, if like a lot of the things that have made us who we are is inspired from the past. So it just doesn't make sense to me not to include the physical manifestation of that. Okay. I don't know what this is. What happened here? Is this supposed to be life? Okay, life of 3 New York-based designers tell us about the past, present, and future of domestic fashion manufacturing. So I saw this post on Instagram. I'm kind of glitching out. Let me see. Am I glitching? I was like glitching for a second. Okay, never mind. Okay, so basically I saw this post and it basically explains the journey of 3 designers in the New York garment industry. So fewer than 100 years ago, New York Garments District had the highest concentration of garment workers in the world. Today, the neighborhood has shop windows, advertising, going out of business sales. I think this is the current one that's active still. And then Carolina Herrera is one of the only major brands that remain in the district. Today, the company's production is divided among facilities in the garment district, as well as factories in Italy and China. And it says, I don't think it's about one factory being better than the other. I just think each factory just has their own hand and their own talent. Wes Gordon, creative director of Carolina Herrera. For designers, Naomi Mishkin, who is brand Naomi Nomi, sells sweatshirts that bear the slogan "Design in Brooklyn, sewn in Queens." I mean, I feel like this is globalization. Like, a lot of people have not stayed in New York because it's kind of cheaper to produce in China. It's easier to produce in like Bangladesh for some reason. There may be an array of reasons why they're not in the New York garment district, but I do think the pursuit of cheaper labor has definitely pushed a lot of designers, a lot of brands, a lot of suppliers away from this district, and now we're kind of like left with nothing.
Subject to credit approval. Apple Card by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Member FDIC. Terms and more at applecard.com.
But this little thing right here is an interesting thing to take a look at. It says, if I lived in Italy, I'd make in Italy. If I lived in China, I'd make it China. So this is kind of an ethos that's refreshing, especially when we see a lot of brands or a lot of people move to where there's the cheapest sort of labor. But right now, we don't have these like strong convictions anymore. I feel like in the industry, it's more like, yeah, let's make money. But I feel like I would agree with this. Like, if I live in Chicago, I'll make my collection in Chicago. And if I live in Mexico, I'll make my collection in Mexico. It's just, it takes a lot of like localized help. So I think we have to assume that there's skilled artisans, there's skilled sewists, skilled tailors, skilled creative directors within the general area that you're operating from. And I feel like if the garment hub of the nation, which is New York, is like going out of business, like where are you going to find that anywhere else? It's kind of hard to, you know? So I would love for this to still be happening. It's just like, what do we find a thriving garment district hub, you know? Okay. So this one says Batishiva, but I don't know how to say her name, but it says, so this designer is the creator of the label Batishiva, who is renting her studio in the garment industry since 2016. And she says she keeps it up with rising costs. She says keeping it up with rising costs is getting harder, but working locally is better for her creative process. Yes, the more removed that you are from the production, the less you get to play. Interesting. I've never heard that one before. I think once you start outsourcing things, that's when you're like becoming a fast fashion brand. That's when you're like, I can delegate this to this. I can make the cheapest cut here. And it all becomes an abstraction of fashion. It doesn't become art anymore. It becomes like, how can I make this the most efficient, well-oiled, profitable machine? And I think that's when we lose the essence, when it gets out of our hands, when it's no longer part of a team effort that we see each other with, or it's a local effort where we have to touch base every morning or something. Like, I think automation and efficiency is like the killer of art and creativity in the industry, to be honest. We just need more local fashion. I think that's really it. We need us to play. We got to play with the fashion. Yeah, I love this post. It's really telling how we're losing a lot of like national fashion energy, which is sad. But there's always people saying that they're providing a solution, which is why I found this article very interesting. So I saw this initiative/partnership with H&M Foundation with Ellen MacArthur Foundation. I was actually like a supporter of Ellen MacArthur until I saw this. Let me see if I can find the link. Okay, here's the link. And it starts off, this post says, making money without making more clothes. We're happy to announce that we've partnered with the Ellen MacArthur Foundation to philanthropically support the fashion remodel, which we'll get into what that is. It's basically like their project. And oh my gosh, this kind of like makes my head hurt, because like if you know anything about H&M, they're a major fast fashion brand, and they made this like philanthropic thing called H&M Foundation to supposedly say they're doing something good in the world, but now it's like they're like trying to paint themselves out as like the hero of the story versus the villain, because now they're saying we're here to empower leading brands to identify solutions and unlock barriers in order to scale circular business models and begin to decouple revenue from production. Oh my god, the hypocrisy. H&M is one of the major fast fashion brands in the world, and they're over here trying to empower brands to find solutions and to remove money from production. I think it's like the most hypocritical thing you can do, given this brand is overproducing so much for the sake of money, and yet they want to lead solutions where we decouple revenue from production. I would love for them to like look inwards and be like, hey, we're the ones that just cannot get our eyes off the fucking money wheel. Like, I just don't know why they would create this narrative, especially when they benefit from overproducing to make so much money. They don't know what to do with it. So I don't agree with H&M's foundation and this like empowerment scheme of sorts, where they like put the attention to someone else, to other brands, for them to like not care about money in production. I find it so incredibly evil for them to do this when they're the problem. And they continue to say, although circular business models are nothing new, they are only a fraction of the global fashion market, with traditional brands mostly running small-scale pilots, and therefore circular business models are still far from the norm. I think they're pointing their attention to circular brands as their like target to help or empower, but yet this aspect of decoupling revenue from production is almost equating their support to this. Basically it's, we'll support circular brands who are not combining money with production, or they don't really are interested in money in terms of production. But it's like, how are these circular brands gonna circulate, or how are they gonna like prosper within a capitalist society? Like, they need revenue. Even if I'm not a supporter personally of money, even if H&M doesn't want to like equate revenue with production, like these circular brands need to produce, which eventually creates money for their initiatives, you know? Like there's no way of removing revenue within the process of a brand ever, unless they're a nonprofit, but then they still need grants. So you can never really remove money from the process of a business. But they finish off by saying this project's framework is designed to scale circular business model solutions. To take part, brands and retailers set an ambition to increase the percentage of their revenue derived from circular business models over the next 3 years and report their progress to Ellen MacArthur Foundation annually. So they're, I guess, actually trying to make more money from the circular business models. Okay, so the wording and the narrative here is kind of confusing for someone outside looking in. So I guess they want to make more money from their circular brands. And the first 8 participants are H&M Group, Arc'teryx Equipment, and brands like Reformation, Primark, and Zalando. And it's called the Fashion Remodel. I think basically what they want is to make more money without making more clothes. So I feel like this is another way to say they're gonna do like resale initiatives in their brands, especially since Depop and like Poshmark and eBay are becoming so popular with like younger generations. I think they just want to make more money on reselling their stuff. I think that's really what this is. And therefore they don't need to produce to create a circular brand or initiative. Therefore, they don't have to make money from more production. Instead, they're making more money from reselling their old stuff. Is that what they're really trying to say? We just want to make money selling our old stuff. That's really it. I don't really think that fast fashion brands can like lead the blueprint for systemic change. That's just me. I think I would support this statement if they stopped producing in totality. If H&M stopped producing everything that they're producing, I would think they can be the leader in blueprint for systemic change, because that's what we need when we have enough clothing to clothe the next 6 generations. Them just reselling their stuff does not make them the blueprint for systemic change. Them making other brands resell their stuff is not making them leaders of systemic change. They're just wanting to look like leaders, but they're not actually doing anything in the long run, because they're still going to produce and produce and produce and produce. And then they're just gonna resell, 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 and resell, and resell. Like, it's an endless loop of just continual selling and selling and selling of things. So I don't take this as a good news whatsoever. Okay, let me increase the music. Okay, so for good news though, there is a new sustainable fashion legislation in Congress called the Voluntary Sustainable Apparel Labeling Act, which I don't really know much about. I'm trying to like see if okay, here's the link. I'm like literally screaming in the mic, am I? My audio levels are crazy today. Okay, where is this link? My links have been everywhere. Okay, is this the link? What link did I save? Hashtag from the Fed? Okay, no. The Voluntary Sustainable... Wait, let me just copy and paste. Oh no, I can't. I'm just gonna put that there. It's called the Voluntary Sustainable... Why is this glitching out on me? Apparel Labeling Act. It's a new sustainable fashion legislation. So, where's something recent? I hate when they make me read bills. I don't understand these things. Is there an article explaining this? I saw it on LinkedIn. It's just I can't find the link. I like saved the wrong link for some reason. Is this it? Okay, yes. So Caston Salazar introduced a bipartisan legislation to bolster sustainable apparel industry. So it was introduced in July, and basically it's a way to supposedly revolutionize the way consumers learn about the environmental impact of the clothes they purchase. Under the legislation, the EPA will work with apparel manufacturers to develop a voluntary apparel sustainability label to place on products that will contain EPA-verified information related to the carbon footprint of that product. Oh my god, I cannot get this music right today. The label will include information on the greenhouse gas emissions released during the production, manufacturing, distribution, consumer use, end-of-life reuse, and recycling of an item of apparel. This will help apparel producers to showcase the work they've done to reduce their carbon footprint while empowering consumers with more information to shop more sustainably. Oh my gosh. There's so much text here. Or is it? I wonder if it's going to be like a physical label that's going to be on the clothing. I just, if there's like too much text on there on a label, I don't think anyone is actually going to read it. Because like when I look at a tag on a clothing, I'm not like, oh, I'm going to read it, you know? So, oh, okay. So there's going to be a QR code. Nice, nice. A logo to help identify the label. Will convey information that have been verified by the EPA. RIP. I don't really think this is gonna work with no environmental initiatives in the government. Thank you, Trump, for taking away our environmental protections. Oh my gosh. I wonder if this is going to be a voluntary initiative for... Oh yeah, it's probably not going to happen because the EPA kind of got demolished under Trump. But basically it's allowing but not mandating brands to place their apparel sustainability labels on their apparel products. So they're allowed to, but not mandated. So they're not forced to be doing this, but it's a thing under EPA. It's probably never gonna happen. Brands don't want to like, brands, do you really think brands are gonna like share what they're doing wrong with the earth? I would love for this to be a mandated thing where all brands have to report how much impact in terms of environmental impact they've made to produce that shirt. So instead of like voluntary Sustainable Apparel Labeling Act, it should be mandatory Sustainable Apparel Labeling Act. Mandatory, mandated, forced, held accountable. I'm like yelling at this mic, I'm sorry. Okay. Let's see what else is good to look at. So I've actually been following this organization called Climate Words, and they did this feature on a word called youth washing, and basically it like describes what it means, and I found it super interesting. I'm just gonna turn off this music. It's kind of irritating me. So basically, youth washing refers to the act of inviting young members of society to meetings with high-profile individuals with the aim of appearing to be listening to the younger generation's voice and creating positive progress. In most instances, this is not the case, as politicians and senior individuals use these meetings as PR stunts by taking photos at the events to post on their media channels. They're just doing it for PR, guys. I hate this. They're just using the youth for PR. So I feel like youth are being invited to have opportunities to go to like high profile places, and supposedly they're going to share their views, right? But like no improvements are rarely made. And then it says ultimately young people are being exploited to make individuals and companies look good. This can include instances such as Greta Thunberg being invited to speak at large UN conferences where the point she is conveying are not being met with impactful action. Okay, and then it says, recent examples of youth washing have occurred at major events such as COP27, where youth delegates are present for photos but not allowed to contribute their ideas in their nation's negotiations and decision making. We will continue to show up and our voices will be heard where it matters. Well, that's good. It's a shame that we use youth like that. I haven't used youth like that. I'm 27, but like, it's just unfortunate they use, I guess, easily influence individuals for their own gain on such an important topic. Zane, who is 27, who is a Global North Focal Point Coordinator for Youngo, explains how young climate activists are underrepresented at climate conferences due to inaccessibility and unaffordable costs. But businesses and fossil fuel companies can afford to send hundreds of people here to COP27, and they do, whereas young people do their climate work unpaid, voluntarily, and on top of their jobs or university studies, so it's really tough. In contrast, non-profit Global Witness discovered that 636 fossil fuel lobbyists were registered to attend, an increase of over 25% compared to last year, to push for the powerful influence of big oil. Because, yeah, we don't have a national climate emergency, we have a national energy emergency. That's what's going on here. Big oil. No. No. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all that there's so much big oil leaders at these conferences. Okay, so it says young BIPOC climate activists are especially susceptible to youth washing tactics due to their positions within the environmental movement that is overrepresented by Western white institutions. Despite BIPOC activists fighting at the front lines for climate action and being disproportionately affected by climate change. Krishna, who is a 25-year-old campaigner with the Philippines-based Research Institute Center of Energy, Ecology and Development, said that youth from climate-vulnerable countries are often invited to speak about their experiences. She has protested against fossil fuel financing and said, "We're not just victims. The people in our communities are also..." Wait, what? The people in our communities are also at the front lines of fighting against corporations, against carbon majors. Alyssa, who is 24, is an educator and researcher, shares her experience attending COP26, emphasizing how our community holds more knowledge but does not have access to online platforms to communicate their lived experiences. Growing up in the digital age and having access to social media is helping bridge the gap. It says, it's less about my opinion and more about my presence as an Indigenous person on their forum. Half the time, I was not even asked what I did. It came down to, you're an Adivasi. Just represent the community. Okay, so... I mean, as someone that was in a majorly white, privileged environmental space, I get this because I was expected to speak and do things for free, but my opinions and my desires were never accounted for. I was never paid, and I was just like a representation of what they wanted, which was diversity. But because I was whitewashed, or not whitewashed, but like light-skinned, for being Mexican American, I wasn't like, I guess, the ideal prototype, so I was kind of even more dismissed. which is unfortunate, but I often feel bad for those that are just volunteering their times in environmental movements, because there's just a lot of stress from just surviving day to day and capitalism. So I do think that more environmental movements need to pay, their workers, their staffers, their volunteers. Like, there should be no volunteers in environmental movements, to be honest. It's just another way to take labor from vulnerable people. Okay, I kind of want to put the background music, but I'm kind of struggling with how much it should be on, because it's too loud sometimes and it's too low sometimes. What if I put it low? Let me put it over here. This is so cute. I'm hyper fixating on the audio. Okay, but another news that I saw was that there's going to be a 24-hour economic blackout, and it's going to be not tomorrow. What is it? The 28th, Friday from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. or 11:59 p.m. So 24 hours. Okay, let me go to it. So it says, in response to President Trump's executive order titled Ending Radical and Wasteful Government DEI Programs and Preferencing, there's going to be a national economic blackout scheduled for Friday, February 28th. And it's a 24-hour protest by vote in or out. And it's organized by grassroots movements as well. And it's going to demonstrate public dissent against the dismantling of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. So participants are encouraged to refrain from all non-essential spending, which includes avoiding major corporations, to basically underscore the current economic influence of collective consumer choices. I mean, if you look at Target and all these other brands, they're just, taking away all these DEI initiatives, and we're just left with wondering what to do. So some people have started boycotting. This is another form of boycotting. And then also they explain that the protest emphasizes the power of unified action and challenging policies perceived as undermining social progress and equity. So this has gained movement on social media, and basically just highlighting the economic impact of marginalized communities and their allies without spending money. And it's meant to pressure policymakers to reconsider their actions, which disproportionately affect underrepresented groups. And this is a peaceful protest that is basically advocating for the preservation and advancement of DEI programs within both public and private sectors. So no corporate spending, no gas, and no fast food. I need to fill up my gas tank before Friday then. I'm laughing, but this is serious. But basically it says this is where we start. We turn it off for one day. We show them who has the power, the people. I wonder if a lot of people are going to actually participate, but there is a lot of energy right now. So these are all the other national protests that are scheduled, protests that are scheduled. I thought I said boycotts. It's kind of the same thing, right? So March 7th through the 14th, no buy from Amazon for 1 week. Okay, and then Fox Painter says, the goal is to not spend a dime. Let's hit them where it hurts. We have power in numbers. If you don't feel like you can boycott a full month, this is a great place to start. Historically, boycotts have had a great effect on corrupt governments. I mean, hopefully, like, a lot of us, like, come together to do this, but it's gonna be hard to not spend money on gas. I wonder when I'm gonna fill up my gas tank then. I have a very busy schedule. But a lot of people in the comments are, like, kind of supporting it. It says, I canceled my Amazon account. I'm doing this every day now. I should kind of think about this too, like, more seriously, because I do be spending a lot of money on random stuff. And I don't really have to wait to Friday to fill up my gas tank. I may just be making excuses. But, yeah, it does take effort to participate in this. So if you can, you should, obviously. If you can't and you're a working class person, like, it's okay not to. Like, you can't sacrifice yourself that much when you're already in survival mode. So, says, there's a comment, Marissa, I'm going to participate, and a lot of people I know are. Yeah, that's cool. Like, if you have the privilege and if you have the time or the energy or desire to, like, go ahead. It's just it was the only time I was gonna actually go do something that required driving. I had to go put in gas on Friday, so I'm wondering when I should go do it. Like, probably on a Thursday, but then I have to, like, go spend more gas to get gas before Friday, so I can have gas on Friday. Okay, I'm just overthinking it. I'll try to do it. I'll try to do it. But yeah, it does take some intentionality. If someone says not enough, think bigger. This man wants a whole revolution overnight. And need to plan a general strike. I do feel like there needs to be more energy, but yeah, this is a good start for, like, the general everyday person that wants to, like, feel like they're doing something or want to do something. It's done. It's a good start. It's a good start. I'll give it that. Okay, so moving on, Paris Hilton is selling her Y2K archive in aid of the LA fires. This was written by DAZED Fashion, and basically Paris Hilton is going to have a closet sale with all her favorite designer pieces, and the proceeds from the sale will be donated to Hilton's nonprofit 1111 Media Impact to help support the relief efforts in the Los Angeles fires. And this collection is filled with personal treasures that hold so many memories, and it's going to have, like, bags and sparkly dresses, things that she wore at iconic parties, things that she's traveled in, pieces that are special to her. So that's a cool effort. I wonder how much everything would be sold for, but I am broke, so I'm not even going to look into it. But I also saw her partner with Vestiaire Collective, which I spoke about last week. And she is, where is it? It's right here. Oh, it's the same thing. So she's going to do it in collaboration with Vestiaire Collective to do this closet sale. And it's already raised $24,000, which is really cool. So that's all going towards the wildfires in LA. Cool. So Paris Hilton is out here being our susty queen. Marissa says, for the economic blackout, I think even if you do it imperfectly, it counts. Do your best. If you need gas, get it, but you can opt out of Amazon. That's huge. Yeah, I don't really buy from Amazon. I don't really go shopping in general. I just needed gas on Friday. Yeah. Okay. Literally, I was looking at my finances, and within a week, or within a month, I mean, I only spend about $200 on stuff, and most of it goes towards food. And then in January, I only spent about $200 in, like, food and personal items altogether. I didn't spend anything else besides $200 for like clothing or food or, you know, like books or whatever. So I always try to buy things like locally, and then I always buy used. But the only thing I really like support in terms of like corporations or companies is like food companies, and then gas, obviously, and then like hair products is hard to find that I actually like. And I have like curly hair, so I usually get it from like a corporation sort of based company, just because I like their products. I don't like organic curly hair things. It's just like, it's water. I don't like water based stuff. Marissa says fair is easy for me too because my budget makes it so that because my budget makes it so that I don't shop unless it's a necessity. Lol. Yes, budget queens. I like that. Okay, so moving on. I am happy to say that London Fashion Week has banned fur in its shows, and it has new strict rules for designers, which kind of reminds me of what was happening with New York Fashion Week. That was getting a lot of like examples from Copenhagen Fashion Week. Like they adopted a lot of requirements. So I feel like London Fashion Week is heading towards that same direction by banning fur. So starting 2025, all designers showcasing a London Fashion Week must commit to promoting ethical and environmentally conscious practices within the fashion industry. Oh my gosh, why is there commercials? Okay, I'm kind of done with the background news. I tried with the background music, it's not working. So basically what's expected from the designers in London Fashion Week is they need to create a clear, sustainable plan showcasing how they'll reduce environmental impact and promote fair work practices. At least 60% of each collection should use sustainable materials like certified fabrics or leftover dead stock textiles from previous collections. Brands must put policies in place to ensure fair and inclusive hiring, giving equal opportunities to everyone. Effective from 2025, there is also a ban on exotic animal skins. Collections will not be allowed to feature new fur, exotic skins, and feathers. I like this. I like this a lot. I feel like there's more energy towards sustainable fashion. I've never seen this before. I think there's a lot of changes coming. Hopefully they'll continue to improve and expand on these initiatives and strategies for like 2026. So I feel like this is just a start. Oh, someone asked, so this means no fox or vegan furs, right? Because that's plastic. Interesting question. That's a good question. Every time like you reach a good thing, there's always like loopholes, I feel like. And I think designers are going to dictate what loopholes they'll go through to make their collections. Because plastic is not that sustainable, but it meets the requirements, you know? Interesting question. Oh, okay. This one says they should not make... Oh, wait. They should. They should make these laws for Shein and Temu, not for fashion designers who pay their staff a decent wage and only create a few garments that are made to last. I thought luxury fashion is more about the artistry. Honestly, I don't get luxury fashion. But I think no matter what, all fashion brands need to have laws that make them accountable, no matter if they're fast fashion or like luxury fashion. That's just on me. But the lack of regulation is it's going to get us one day. All these landfills filled with our clothing, whether it's fast fashion or luxury fashion, most of it's getting dumped. I actually really wonder about this, like how much luxury fashion is actually being thrown away versus like becoming archival pieces. That's a good question. I wonder if there's any reports. Because I think the assumption right now is that we're like keeping luxury fashion for the rest of our lives. That's the assumption, but is it true? Is it really true? But talking about archival luxury fashion, Brenda's song actually kicked off her red carpet debut in archival Chanel. I saw this post by Marie Claire. And yeah, this is the dress. She looks beautiful. This is a beautiful look, beautiful dress. Okay, let me read this. Okay. So for the premiere, she chose a stunning corseted archival Chanel gown, perfectly complemented by soft glam makeup. Brenda wholeheartedly embraces the term Brenda-sance for this look and what it represents. She says, "I finally feel like I'm in the next phase of my life," she reflects. "I feel so different from who I was 5 years ago and my entire life." She looks so good. She looks so good. Oh my gosh, she's back. Oh, it's always so nerve-wracking on the red carpet, so I always try to choose something that's not finicky or fussy and I'm confident in. That's how I felt when I put on this dress. Oh my gosh, she looks good. I did not mean to yawn. I was looking while I was looking at this, but she looks good. I love this dress. It looks really good on her. See, this is the power of archival fashion. I love it. Hopefully people are keeping their luxury fashion for years and years and years. Okay, we should watch a video of sorts because there's a lot of news. Oh, okay, so I saw this. So a bunch of Colorado students actually did a trash the runway show to showcase sustainability in the fashion industry. I don't think it's a video. I think it's an article. Yeah. Oh no. Oh my god, these pieces are so fun. This is caution tape. They use sparkles. I don't know what this is. This is tape. Oh, this is tape. Tape. I think they try to do like a 1800s dress. It's so much fun. So these students in Colorado learned about fashion and sustainability by using trash and only trash to create high-end designs. Colorado Matters host Chandra Thomas Whitfield spoke with Tanya Leonard, who oversees the nonprofit that runs the Trash the Runway event. It took place February 27th at the Boulder High School. Oh, that's so cute. I wonder if there's like a video. I would love to see a video. Okay, so this is a website. This is last year. Ooh, they're so creative and they're just in high school. All made from trash to create quote unquote luxury items. I think they use a lot of tape. Divest from fossil fuels. Oh, I love this. This is so good for them being teenagers. Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Marissa says, oh gosh. What is happening to my laptop? Okay. Oh, this one's cool. Are these tennis balls? That's tennis balls. She like cut them in half. I cannot zoom in. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, this one's cool. They got talent. I went to school for fashion merchandise, and I would see fashion design students in the lab. I think some of these high schoolers are more talented than some of the people I knew. I'm not dissing anyone, but we were not a fashion school. We were a business school. Oh my gosh, this is from Noodles. Maru-chan. I love this. Okay, so Marissa says they did great. I did a trash fashion show when I was in school. Very fun and inspiring. This is really nice. Don't they have a YouTube? No, they don't have a YouTube. I'm just stalking them now. We're just gonna stalk them. It seems like they have a fashion program of some sort.
Okay. I've never used spray paint as a media, but it's I think I'll be able to prove it now. I've never used spray paint as a media, but it's I think I'll be able to prove it now. I've never used
I'm doing your
Gotcha.
And your domestic garment?
It's the leaf one, and I'm gonna like sew it.
Am I in the shot?
They're cutting the little
You're not in the
pieces.
shot, and it's just like I'm doing your
Gotcha.
And your
This legit looks like a fashion school.
So this was Julia, if you want to look a little bit tighter, but
Oh my gosh, and this must have taken them
Julia, if you want to look a
forever.
little bit tighter, but that's okay. So this was Julia, if you want to look a little bit tighter, but that's
Yeah, this must have taken them forever to do. Is this a high school? Wow, this is a well-funded high school. These are teenagers. This is impressive. Wow, okay. I love this. I love this a lot. I wonder who sponsored this. Local companies and entrepreneurs can sponsor. Interesting. Bank of America, Amy Carpenter, City of Boulder, local businesses. Oh, Crocs. Okay, okay. They have a lot of sponsors. Damn, okay. A museum. We need more of this. We need more of this energy. I love this so much. This is so cool. Okay, so to move on, I saw this interesting feature of a Palestinian artist who is basically weaving their heritage into textile art. I love this account. This is by This Is Young Mia. I think it's a magazine of sorts, but it's this account. It's called This Is Young. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay. Today's links have been flaky, but basically it features this artist. Her name is Aideen. She's a Palestinian designer. I lost the link again. Gotta scroll again. Who is basically blending innovation, weaving of cultural heritage into modern techniques. And this is some of her pieces. All her work is in a foundry downtown Dubai. Very beautiful. So it says, growing up as a Palestinian in a rich culture ignited my passion for textiles. I found textiles to be a flexible medium that allows me to bring together different threads into one piece, something that is a reflection of my cultural identity. I think they have a full story of her in their magazine. Let me look to find it. I think it is a magazine. I think it is a magazine. Where is it? Blah, 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 blah. Ooh. Oh, trying to find it. Where are you? Guys, where is it? Is there a fashion section? There you go. There's a fashion section. I can't find it. What's her name again? Irene. Oh my gosh, wrong one. There she is. Oh, these pieces are so cool. Wait, okay. So where were we? She earned her bachelor's degree in textile design and art. So basically her work is a reflection of her cultural identity, brings threads of history, tradition, and innovation together. How did she do this? It's like connected from here to here, and then there's fabric here, and then it seems like a base of sorts is holding all the fabric together. It's very pretty. She's been featured in New York, Paris, and Istanbul. She's gotten awards, and she is known for her work in the world of design and art. Very nice, very nice. I like the colors. They're all within the same color scheme, which I appreciate. Marissa said surgers in high school, incredible what can happen when kids are properly supported. Wow, they are legit pattern drafting. Yeah, these high schoolers were legit at it. Like, I went to a fashion school where we learned all these things within our first 2 years. And I think these high schoolers are more advanced than I was and what a lot of other students in my college were ever taught. I feel like these high schoolers are actually going to get into like good schools or like make decent things way faster than what I ever could. Like, I made my first collection when I was 21, after I was taught in college. If I had access to that sort of like teaching and like resources in high school, that would have been amazing. But I went to a public high school, so I think I'm just asking for miracles if I wanted that to happen in a public school, especially in the under-resourced BIPOC frontline community. It's not going to happen in my city. One day, hopefully, I can fund a fashion program in my high school that I was raised in, or I went to, but it's a private school. It's a public school. I didn't go to a private one. I didn't see what school it was. Boulder High School? Is that a public school? I think I remember seeing it was Boulder High School. It sounds like a public high school. But isn't Boulder, Colorado, like wealthy, like a wealthy area or something? Oh, it was the first public high school in Colorado. They just may have more resources within that area. Who knows? I don't know. Okay, and then getting back to this. The work that she does represents a mediation on paradise. Or meditation. Meditation. Okay, not mediation. Meditation of paradise. Draws on Islamic garden symbolism to create a vision of harmony between the earthly and the divine. Reflects a journey from earthly attachments to the celestial realm, where purity and perfection exist beyond the material form or world. I don't see it, but respect for her. Meditation on paradise. Yes, Queen, I support, but I don't see it. I like it when there's like a really cool meaning to things, but I don't see it. It's very pretty, that's for sure. I like the colors. it must have taken her very special like tools and like techniques and skills to achieve this sort of creation. But this is what I like to see, for like people to actually believe that textiles can be like art. This is essentially textile art. Like in its very literal sense. And it's engaging people into a global dialogue on cultural heritage and contemporary design. Yeah, it does have like a contemporary feel to it. Very beautiful. I don't have a lot of thoughts, but it's very beautiful, and I love her for this. Textile artists, here we come. When I went to fashion school, a lot of people didn't really gravitate me towards that. Like, all I was taught in school was to become a fashion designer, and that was really it. Or to like be a store product merchandiser. I was never informed that you could be a textile artist in any way or shape or form. Like, I didn't know this was a thing until now. Like being a textile artist in a literal sense, where you can have your stuff featured in a museum. It's really nice to see. So to move on, I saw how there is a designer who's actually embroidering denim. This was from a bazaar in India. And basically it says that designer Mayur and Daya are reimagining denim through a focus in Indian craftsmanship. And this is one of their pieces, which is really cool. Let me see. So they're combining washed denim with intricate Zardosi, velvet jackets with archival Gallmeister motifs, and skirts. No, what? Light as air but bold in color. Why did my brain blank on this? Okay, skirts light as air but bold in color. This collection is a bridge between old and new, blending heirloom embroidery techniques with contemporary silhouettes that resonate with today's wearer. I love this. I personally love denim. I always wear denim, and to see like Indian embroidery on them and like upcycling them is a peak beauty for me for fashion. I love this. This is so cool. I've never seen it before. I've never seen like embroidery with denim for like Indian fashion. I wonder why denim is like not used within Indian collections that much, or for their craftsmanship. But basically this article explains that this collection breaks the mold, making it possible to wear artisanal craft beyond weddings and festive gatherings. And they can be styled multiple ways, and you can like be versatile with it without compromising your style. It's a game changer. Super interesting. Oh, look at this. An embroidered denim crop top can be paired with a tailored trouser for a power dressing moment, while a heavily embroidered denim jacket can be thrown over a simple dress for effortless glam. This is really cool. I love this. I've never seen it before. I kind of want to do that on a jacket, like see how I can embroider a jacket or something. I don't have the skills though. Again, I made my first collection at 21, and I feel like a 17-year-old could have done it better than me after seeing the Boulder high schoolers. So I'm 27 now, and I haven't really done anything since I was like 22. So this is like talent beyond anything I know right now, but I would love to like upcycle something where I like put fancy embroidery on there, or like fancy details of some sort. I just need the craftsmanship, but it'd probably be like Mexican craftsmanship or something. which I'm not super familiar with either, so I would have to do my research. Da, 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 da. They made a 50-piece collection. Oh, nice. It's pushing the boundaries of couture. And it proves that heritage craftsmanship isn't just about nostalgia, it's about evolution. By making embroidery accessible beyond bridal wear, the designers explain that it ensures that Indian craft isn't just preserved, it's lived in every day. This is more than just fashion. It's a cultural shift, one where handcrafted techniques are seamlessly woven into the global fashion narrative. Whoa. Wow. That's a powerful statement. I love it. I love it. They're visionaries. I wonder if I can follow them on social media. Can I follow you on social media? That's the only way I get like up to date to things. I just follow them on social media. Oh, there it is. Oh, they're in Chicago? I'm near Chicago. Oh, this is one of the pieces. It's so beautiful. Gorgeous. So this is like the traditional fabric they usually wear or have for their work. Ooh. Oh, this is beautiful. I love it. I love it. Oh, this one's beautiful. The red lining, like you can just tell they put a lot of attention to the details with the red lining. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Da, da, da. Okay. I'm just obsessed at this point. Oh, wow. There's so many details in there. Wow. Okay. I'm going to move on because there's a lot more news. Okay, we covered that. Okay, so there was an interesting news bit where it's asking whether Shein is really going to be saved from ethical worries, basically. No. No. So if you don't know, Shein is trying to get into London's public listings, and it's kind of faced a bit of problems. But they're looking for loopholes, basically. And yeah, so basically, Shein's fortunes has taken a turn as regulatory and ethical hurdles have been thrown at them, which is basically upending their business model and a highly anticipated London entrance. So it explains down here that Shein targets Western consumers, including those that are in the US, the UK, Brazil, and Ireland, but does not sell its stuff in China, where it's got its name. Instead, it's going towards domestic shoppers. Oh, instead of going towards like Chinese shoppers, they're going towards basically providing like low cost goods. And they're actually right now trying to like exploit a loophole, which is the de minimis rule, which basically allows the export of low value packages tariff free. And that's how they're getting a lot of like products into the USA very cheaply. But yeah, things are changing, especially with Trump, with the tariffs. And they're just getting a lot of like, they're just experiencing a lot of setbacks with Trump not wanting to support China. So they're struggling financially. So I don't really feel bad for Shein. I think Shein needs more accountability rules and more laws, more setbacks, to be honest. I don't know. I really want Shein to struggle. It's done so much damage for the fashion industry that I don't really think that they could be ethical, even if they tried. Like, they rely entirely on cheap stuff to continue on and to make more and more and more. So, I wish them the best, but they're not my favorite. I do not want to see them in existence. I like how I say I wish you the best, but please shut down. Please shut down, guys. Okay. So going on, I'm gonna look at this New York Institute of Fashion / LST partnership. So basically, it showcased like Indian designers' work through this partnership that basically showcases sustainability through cultural exchange. And these were some of the pieces. Very lovely. And some of the designers chosen were, let's see, did I not? I thought I saw their names. But they don't say their names. But basically, this partnership was through a college. What's the college's name? It's right here somewhere. So the New York Institute of Fashion, and then collaborated with the London School of Trends to have students be featured in New York Fashion Week. And 45 pieces were showcased, which is really nice. I think we need more of this within fashion weeks and fashion shows. So I definitely love this. I definitely love this. Okay, so I'm going to move on and show you guys now more social justice issues. So basically, I saw AOC talk within a New York rally about federal worker rights. So we should look at this, especially since it's so important right now what's happening with federal workers and Trump firing them.
You all ready to lock in? Yeah. We are not giving up this country without a fight. Isn't that right? We will not give up on our people and the institutions and the programs and the services that help people live their lives without a fight. So if they want us to go down, they should know we are not going down without the biggest fight they have ever seen. I want you all to know that we have a plan and that we need one another in this moment. This moment is bigger than any one of us. This moment takes all of us, but we will win. We will win. These folks, Elon Musk and whatever group of corrupt people he's got coming in here, looting Social Security, looting our federal programs. We had countless more people that were laid off unjustly this weekend. How many of you know someone that's been affected by this? People need to understand that federal workers do work that is part of the lifeblood of our society. National Park Service workers, National Forest Service workers, everyday working people, sometimes the only vacation they can afford to take their kids on is to our national public lands, to our national public parks and services. And it's those people that folks like Elon Musk are laying off, preventing not just the workers, but millions of Americans who rely on everything from Medicaid to a public park to have any semblance of dignity in our lives. That's what he's stripping away. That's what he's trying to take away. Don't let anyone take the focus off of what is happening right in this present moment. Elon Musk is not going after efficiency. He's not going after making these things better for people. He's trying to steal Medicaid so that he can enrich himself. He is trying to steal and gut NASA to align his pockets with SpaceX. He is trying to gut everything that is good in America for his own private profit. This is the culmination of what oligarchy is all about and what oligarchy seeks to do. It's the fusion of and the capture by the billionaire class of our democracy. That's what they're trying to do. But it's very important to understand that it is not sustainable. They may seem like they have power right now, but all of this dramatic action is trying to create the sense of inevitability, the sense of power, so that we abdicate in advance. I want everyone who is here and folks who are watching who are not here, especially our federal workers, to listen to me very carefully, because we have very specific instructions in this moment. And I don't say this as a Democrat, I don't say this as a person with any sort of specific political views in this moment. I say this as an American who has sworn an oath to the United States Constitution. And as someone who cares about this Constitution and who cares about this country, we have an obligation to resist kings. We have an obligation to resist oligarchs. We have a sworn duty to this nation to resist oligarchy, including any billionaire that tries to undermine our Constitution. America is not for sale. They are only as powerful as we consent to believe them to be powerful. So when we are sitting down and they try to storm these offices and dismiss people, the key here, make them. Make them. Don't agree in advance. Don't go quietly. Don't make it easy. Make them. And there are specific ways that we all can do it. Document it. They want to do something? Put it in an email. And I say this very intentionally because we will work in the streets, in the courts, in public opinion, in our art, everywhere. We can overwhelm them. We outnumber them. Understand our power in this moment. Don't give up our power. Don't shy away from our power. Every small action matters. They want us to give in to this idea of meaninglessness. They want us to be seduced by nihilism. They want us to be cowed down by cynicism. Don't let them. Every action matters. Make them. Every 5 minutes you stall matters. Every email you send forcing that little extra layer to ensure that they comply with the law matters. It matters because you have to understand that we are working in tandem. And I want to give you a really specific story about this. I haven't shared this publicly before. But about 2 weeks ago, I was in Washington, D.C., and I got notice. We had caught wind of the fact that the DOGE team was trying to infiltrate the Department of Labor, and that they were going to come in and try to intimidate nonpartisan federal workers into handing over some of the most sensitive labor data that we have in the Department of Labor. And understand, just like there are consequences at the Treasury Department and so many other departments, in the Department of Labor, if those numbers get compromised, our jobs report is harder to believe, U.S. economic data becomes less reliable to believe, highly consequential. And I had heard that the DOGE team was going to head over there around 4 p.m. that same day. And I said, well, here's one thing that I know that I can do, is that we can remind some of our federal workers over there of all of our legal obligations to comply with the law that forbid us from handing over sensitive classified personnel and classified information. So I drafted up a letter. And people say, oh, letters, who cares? But I said, you know, whatever, this isn't going to be a public-facing thing. I drafted up a letter reminding the department and reminding folks of their legal obligations. Say, okay, you know, Doge wants to write letters, just seeking power, let's use our authority. Drafted it, and I marched on over to the Department of Labor. I was able to access the building without anybody knowing. Access the building, and I went inside the Department of Labor. And I was able to drop this off and remind the exact people who Doge was going to pressure of their legal obligations. And I said, can I get your commitment that you will do your best to comply with the law, should you be asked to hand over this information? They said, yes. What we can at least do is ensure that it goes through all the proper legal channels, go to the Solicitor General and all of this other stuff, which is more than we can say at other departments, right? Where they just felt like they didn't know what to do, so they just handed it over. But we got that commitment, right? And this every step of the way, one person or a person could easily say, oh, the letter doesn't matter. Oh, taking that step doesn't matter. Who cares? They're going to hand it over. But watch this. That meeting was supposed to be at 4 p.m. I walked through those doors at 3:30 p.m. before this thing popped off. Got that commitment. Left. That meeting happened. And they were able to say, we've made a promise. We can't hand over that data right now. We can't hand over that data right now. As a nonpartisan federal elected official, they had to answer to two people, right? Doge came in, they had to take that meeting, but they also had to take my meeting too. And in that time, they said, listen, we have to ensure compliance with the law. We're going to hand it over to Solicitor General. In that time, in that delay, we got a court injunction. We got a court injunction. So in all of these times, in these moments, when you say, oh, what does it matter? Understand that there are millions of us at work at the same time. We are in the business of creating conditions. There's not one act that is going to save all of us. It is going to be the constant pressure and commitment to saving our democracy. They cannot withstand the constant, consistent pressure. They will crumble under it. Every day, our job is to wake up and say, what can I do today? There is no act too small. That does not matter. Every single action matters. And so when they try to come in, make them show a warrant. Make them show a document. Make them assert their authority. Ask them, who are you? Who are you? Because at the end of the day, they're no one. They're just like you, and they're just like me. And he's running around because he thinks he's got a bank account with a lot of zeros in it, that it makes him some kind of super citizen. I don't think so. This is America. So I want you all to know that being here matters. The constant pressure matters. We will resist. We will prevail. We outnumber them. They cannot sustain, and we cannot give up. So thank you, everyone. Let's keep pushing it. See you next
time. She's such a queen. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with her. I needed that. That was so inspiring. I feel like every small thing that we do does add up. It just, in the moment, it doesn't feel like it. So hopefully we all begin to take the small changes towards the right direction in the midst of everything chaotic that's happening. She's such a queen. AOC. Love it. Okay, so I'm probably going to finish off by featuring this post, which is basically about quilt codes being used in the Underground Railroad. And then probably just end it from there. But yeah, I saw this post about how they use quilt codes in the underground. Let me see if I can refresh.
With this pattern, and this pattern is called a monkey wrench, and it said to the slaves, "Get your belongings together. We'll be going out with the conductor soon." They would leave that up for a little while, then they would take it down, a few days maybe, and they'd put this one up. This one is called the drunkard's path. It said, "We will follow the drunkard's path. It will make it difficult for slave catchers to catch us." And also slaves believed that evil spirits traveled in a straight line. This is the bear's paw. We will follow bear tracks. You will find food, berries, honey, and maybe a place to stay during the day, except bear caves you wouldn't want to stay in. But they would hang a quilt on the fence or a door with this pattern. And this pattern is called a monkey wrench. And it said to the slaves, "Get your belongings together. We'll be going out with the conductor soon." They would leave that up for a little while, then they would take it down, a few days maybe, and they'd put this one up. This one is called the drunkard's path.
Okay. That's so interesting. I had no idea that each image or like symbol had a different meaning, and that's how they communicated. I think it should be taught in school. I had no idea. I just randomly came across this post and I was like, how did I never know this? Yeah, I would love to interview her and see how they came up with this idea, whether everyone used like the same like symbol for the same meaning, and who was in charge of making this. Maybe it was the older women or married women that knew the skill. I'm not quite sure who was in charge of this within their community or within their like leadership structure, but this is incredibly beautiful to know. And it's really so sad that we were never taught that they use quilt symbolism or codes to communicate for their livelihood, for their survival in midst of the horrors. And I love this comment. It says, "Textiles as communication." I love this. I love this. And this, "Bad spirits run in a straight line." Yes, I love this. I love this. Okay. I was gonna watch like a fashion show. We can go ahead and watch it. It's basically this super interesting fashion show that I saw by John Galliano for the fall 2000, and it featured paper dolls. We should probably end off with a fashion show. We should probably make that a tradition. And then I'll head on off. Paper dolls. Paper dolls. Is it this one? I think it's this one. These ads are gonna kill me. No more ads. I don't even make money from these ads. This is for someone else. I don't make money from the ads. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my god, there's another ad. This is karma. Karma. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Sell me. Buy, sell, buy. Buy, sell, buy. Capitalism. Yes. America. Okay. Is this it? It's definitely an interesting show. Where's the paper dolls? If I put the music on, I'm gonna get copyright striked, by the way. Oh, it's over here. It's over here. Should I risk it? Okay. What the heck is this? What is happening? Where's the paper dolls? What is this? What is this? This is like a fever dream. What is happening? I feel like this is what a fashion collection would look like after having an intense fever dream and taking acid. And all you had was your childhood your childhood room to work with. Oh my god. It's like they took bed sheets and they like cut them up. It's giving whimsy. It's giving fashion surrealism. It's giving curtains. It's giving she forgot about all the other textiles that were supposed to hang off of the skirt, but she cut it too much. It's like a magazine cutouts, no? Yeah, they were definitely taking drugs when they did this collection. Oh my gosh. This is like a Dumb and Dumber had a fashion collection. That's the vibes. Wait, does she have a mustache painted on her? Wait, she has a construction hat on her. I am so confused. There's a curtain on it? There's the paper doll dress. Wow. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it. What is this? Yes, queen! Dude, what were you on? What happened? Dude, what drugs did you take? He has bodyguards. That's how legit this is. Wow. Okay, dokie. Wow, okay. I did not expect that, but that was fun. That was super fun. Thank you so much for tuning into today's live stream. It was a bit of a interesting, intense one. There's a lot of news, but I will be live streaming again this Friday at 4 p.m. Central Time until around 6:30. Tune in. Until next time, I will see you later. Have a good Tuesday. Bye. Bye.